Joining us right now to talk about it is Wang, Constellation Research founder, chairman, and principal analyst. Hi, Ray. How are you?
Hey, good morning.
So did the decline in the stock price make sense to you? Is this just a case where Nvidia can beat expectations, but it's almost impossible to beat the highest whisper numbers on the street ever? There are just such high expectations built into the stock every time. This is not a big sell-off. It's down by less than 1%.
Becky, you're absolutely right. I think people were taking money off the table. It was more than a mic drop moment. It was a spike the ball in the end zone performance. But the problem was everyone's saying, hey, what's going on, right? Should we take some money off the table and come back? And I think that's really what happened. I mean, these were some big numbers, right? 19.83 net income, 37.5 billion in guidance. That's huge.
Yeah, it's hard to find many flaws or faults at all with the numbers that came through. It does remind me of last quarter when they beat expectations again. The stock was down immediately after the earnings, but then it went on to grow something like 17% over the course of the last 3 months since then. You've still got to buy on this. You're looking at, I think, a $180 price target. The stock's at $144 today.
I am, and here's why. When we look at the Mag 7, they're basically growing exponentially versus the rest of the Fortune 500. So 7 stocks are basically growing really quickly, and Nvidia is basically selling to 6 of the 7 of the Mag 7, and it's a huge number. It's about 50 billion a quarter in which these Mag 7 are spending in terms of data center growth. And so that's really what's driving the majority of Nvidia's revenue in the data center side. So that growth from 3.8 billion to 30.8 billion in 2 years is huge, right? Gaming doesn't even come close. Gaming was up at 3 billion. And so what we're seeing right now is still a massive build out on data centers. That's going to happen for the next 12 to 18 months. And that's what's driving it. And then after that, we're going to see something different, which is in the sovereign AI. Countries are going to say, hey, our companies can't catch up, and we've got to invest at a country level.
Yeah, I've heard people knock Nvidia because it's really just these big companies like the Metas and the Amazons that are buying all the chips right now. But that's because they're first in line. Nobody else can get through to them. When you hear about the demand that Nvidia will discuss, Jensen Huang will discuss on the conference call, it's hard to look at the supply versus demand as a problem. It just means far more people want these chips than they can possibly produce at this point. If you were looking for a hole to poke, because most of the holes that I've heard people try and poke in this argument don't make sense to me, what's the best argument you can think of for why you might be concerned about the stock?
The only reason I'd be concerned about the stock is living in the valley. What we're seeing is a ton of people at Nvidia retire. They've put in their 5 years, they put in their 10 years, they're leaving, they're cashing out, they're doing something with their lives, and it's really the talent that's going to be hard to beat given that stock run up. The other piece is really Blackwell to Rubin when it happens in 2026. The question is, same questions people are going to ask, are the chips going to be hot? Are they going to work? I think that's where people are worried about. But right now, these chips are 2.5 times faster, and of course, they cost 2x as much, and people are willing to make that bet.
There were those concerns in the last week or so about the chips overheating, the Blackwell chips overheating when put in some of these server arrays. I've read other reports that people are speculating it's already been corrected. What do you think?
From our conversations with people over there, it has been corrected. And I think the other piece that's happening is this is really complicated. Not a lot of companies have ever done this before, and I think they've tried all different possibilities and combinations, and I think they've figured out a couple solutions, and that's what we heard. And this shift is actually important because if you think about what is next, right, it's going to get even smaller and it's going to get even hotter. And as you know, the consumption and the power consumption on these chips hopefully come down, but people keep stacking more chips in one place, which is why they get really hot in the data centers.